Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how you can create this shader in Blender. You can download the model that I used through the link in the description. If you're interested, you can get the file without the skull on Gumroad for $1 through the link in the description. So let's get started. First go to File, Import and STL. Go to the folder where you have the file and double click on it. If you can't see the model here, but you can see it here, then just press delete on the numpad and here it is. Right click and shade smooth, going to side view and let's rotate it like this and position it here. Now go to shading, click on rendered view and make sure you're in cycles. The subsurface scattering node works best in cycles. You can leave it at 128 samples with denoise enabled and set to optics. You can only use that if you have an NVIDIA GPU, otherwise you can also use OpenImage denoise. Now go to color management and make sure the view transform is set to filmic and the look to very high contrast. Now go to compositing, enable denoising data and use nodes, and add a denoise node set to accurate. Go back to shading, click on new, and let's add a subsurface scattering node and delete the principled BSDF. Control Shift click on it. Now add a bump node, put that here, plug the normal into the normal and set the strength to 0.1. Add a vector math node and set it to wrap. Plug the vector into the height and into the color. With the vector math node selected, press Ctrl T and delete the image texture and connect the vector to the vector. Now let's use the object output. Let's grab these two nodes and move them over here. Add a brick texture, put it here and plug the color into the maximum here. Set the mortar size to 0.08 and the mortar smooth to 0.8. Now hit Shift A again and add a wave texture and plug the color into the scale. Set the scale to 10.5. Set the detail to 15. Now let's grab the vector and plug it in here. Shift right click and drag over here and add a mix RGB, and let's also add a Warner texture. Duplicate it and put that one here. Plug the color of this one into the vector and into color 1. And now grab the vector and plug it in here. Set the scale to 1.5 and for this one let's set it to 0.75. Set this one to distance to edge and we also need to set this one to smooth F1. Plug the distance into color 2 and again use the vector here. Duplicate the Warner texture and put that here. Now grab this and plug it into the vector. Set it to smooth F1 and set the scale to 5. Now take the distance and plug it into the scale here. If you want to get these previews, by the way, you can get the no preview add-in for the link in the description. Now hit Shift A and add a Musgrave texture. Put that down here. Let's zoom out and again use this and plug it into the dimension. Set the detail to 15 and hit Shift A and add a color ramp. Connect the color to the vector and add a Warner texture. Put it here and plug the height into the vector. Set it to distance to edge. Now take the distance and plug it into the minimum here. Go to the color ramp and select the black and set it to 0.55 and bring the white in to somewhere around here. Now let's save. Back in layout mode, position the view somewhere that you like. Add a camera, Ctrl-Alt-0 to go into camera view and press G, Z to move it on the local Z-axis, and press R, X, X to move it on the local X-axis. These are the coordinates that I'm using. Hit Shift A and add a plane and scale it by 200. Now Shift select the skull and press Ctrl L, link materials. Now the skull and the plane are going to share the same material. Hit Shift A again and add an empty plane axis. Go up here and set it to face project. Press G and Ctrl, and now position the empty wherever you want. This is going to be our focus object for the camera. Go up here and enable depth of field. Go to the camera and object data properties. Enable depth of field and select the empty. Set the f-stop to 0.1 and the blades to 16. Now if we go into rendered view, because we can't see much here, it's not much, but I like it. Go to rendered view and go to the world properties. I am currently using an HDRI, but I will set this to sky texture. Set air, dust and ozone to 3. Let's set the sun rotation to 70 and the sun elevation to 8. Let's save again, and if your render is quite slow, you can go up here to render and enable lock interface. This should make it a little faster. Now let's press F12 to render the image. So that's it of the tutorial. I hope you liked it. Please let me know what you should do next, and I'll see you next time.